Hello. In this video, I'll do examples of two more problem-solving strategies um, of the 13 strategies that we have. I'll do examples of the strategy guessing is okay, and an example of relate a new problem to another one. One of the difficulties in solving word problems is that you can be afraid to say something that may be wrong, and consequently sit staring at the problem, writing nothing until you have the full-blown solution. Making guesses, even incorrect guesses, is not a bad way to begin. In other words, don't be afraid to make mistakes. It may give you some understanding of the problem, and once you make a guess, evaluate it to see how close you are to meeting all the conditions of the problem. And this is useful if you haven't found you haven't learned another way to do this problem. Now, this one in particular is going to be a lot easier if you know some algebra. I mean, you know some linear equations. With linear equations, you can solve this in a more efficient way. But let's suppose we have never seen that. We are going to solve this problem for guess. We're going to solve this problem by guessing. That's on page 16. So let's suppose that Carlos has $9,000 in two mutual funds. One fund pays 11% interest, and the other fund pays 8%. If his income from the two funds last year was 936, how much did he invest in each fund? That's all the information we have. Okay, so we are going to divide. Divide the deposit or the principal into two equal parts. Divide the initial deposit into two parts. If we divide 9,000 by 2, we have 4,500 and 4,500. And we're going to try this. We're going to be working with percents, but we know the basics of percents. 11% as a decimal is 0.11, and 8% as a decimal is 0.08. So what do we have? We have that 4,500 at 11%, it's 4,500 times 0.11. And 4,500 at 8% is 4,500 times 0.08. So 4,500 times, 4,500 at 11%, this is 495. And 4,500 at 8%, it's 360. So this is 855. And the income from the two funds was 936. That means we are a little bit short. What we're going to do, we are going to increase the amount on the 11%. That is, we're going to increase the amount on the fund with the highest interest. On the higher paying investment. That is the one that pays 11%. So we're going to split it now into 600 and 300. Or 6,000 and 3,000. That's going to be what? That's going to be 6,000 at 11%. Yeah, I don't need to do so many parentheses. So that's 6,000 at 11% plus 3,000 at 8%. So one of the problem-solving strategies is the order principle, that is order of operations. So in order of operations, we first do the multiplication, and then we do the addition. 6,000 at 11% is going to be 6,000. It's going to be 660, and 3,000 at 8% is going to be 240. So that is going to be 900. We're still falling short, so we'll keep increasing. We're going to keep increasing the amount on the higher paying investment, the 11% investment. And so far, this is what we have gotten. We have our guesses. And we have the interest amount. Our first two guesses were 4,500 and 4,500. And the interest amount was 855. That was too short. The next two guesses were 6,000 and 3,000. That was 900. We keep falling short, but now we have an idea. We know that we need to keep increasing the amount on the 11% fund. So we are going to try 7,000 and 2,000. And the interest is 7,000 at 11% plus 2,000 at 8%. And we're going to calculate the interest amount. So this is 7,000 invested at 11% plus 2,000 at 8%. So that's 930. So we got very close now. That's 930. And remember the total amount, the total interest Carlos got from these two funds was 236. Now, since we are very close, instead of increasing by 1,000, we are going to increase by 100. That is 7,100 and 1,900. And we'll see what happens. That's 7,100 at 11% and 1,900 at 8%. So we'll see how close we are. If it is more than 936, we are going to decrease by the hundreds or by the tens. But let's see. This is 7,100 at 11% plus 1,900 at 8%. So that's 933. We're actually very close. So that's 933. And increase by another 100. If it's more than 936, we're going to decrease by the tens. So we have 7,200 at 11% and 1,800 at 8%. Now a calculator check will show you that the total interest is 936. So that's the final answer. Carlos invested 7,200 at 11% and 1,800 at 8%. Okay, so that's the final answer. And the next strategy is to relate a new problem to another one. So I'll copy this from the book. So next strategy. An effective technique in solving a new problem is to try to connect it with a problem that you have solved earlier. It is sometimes possible to rewrite a condition so that the problem becomes exactly like one you have seen before. So one of the videos you watch, one of the first videos I told you from Pearson or from my MATLAB, it shows how to draw a tree diagram. We're going to bring that back. So this problem is drawing a, well, you're going to get the answer by drawing a tree diagram. It's going to be a little bit different than the one you saw. And here it is. Okay, we're doing number 65. In exercise 65, assume that Menaka has determined the following possibilities for classes in her next semester schedule. She can take math at 9, 10, or 12. English at 9, 11, or 12, sociology at 10 or 12, and art history at 9, 10, or 11. Determine all the possible ways that Menaka can schedule these classes and relate a new problem to another one. We can answer the question by drawing a tree diagram. With the following branches. We're going to, one of the strategies, the second strategy was to give names to unknowns. So M stands for math, E stands for English, S stands for sociology, and A stands for art history. If we start in this particular order, she can take math at 9, 10, or 12. So math at 9, 10, or 12. And here's the next step. If she's taking math at 9, she can only take English at 11 or 12. So if she takes math at 9 and English at 11, she can take sociology at 10 or 12. So if she takes math at 9, English at 11, and sociology at 10, she can no longer take art history. So we are going to cross that. So there's no way for her to take art history. If she takes math at 9, English at 11, and sociology at 12, she can take art history at 10. So that's one possibility. Next, if she takes math at 9 and English at 12, she can only take sociology at 10 and art history at 11. Next case scenario. If she chooses math at 10, she can take English at 9, 11, or 12. So if she's taking math at 10 and English at 9, she can take sociology at 12. And art history at 11. If she's taking math at 10, English at 11, she can take sociology at 12. And art history at 9. Next, if she's taking math at 10 and English at 12, she can no longer take sociology. So this is over. And the last case scenario is taking math at 12. If she takes math at 12, she can take English at 9 or at 11. So if she's taking math at 12 and English at 9, she can take sociology at 10 and art history at 11. And finally, if she's taking math at 12 and English at 11, she can take sociology at 10 and art history at 9. So if we count them, we have a total of 6 possibilities. So she can schedule her classes in 6 ways. So that's the tree diagram and the final answer. Thank you for listening.